Hi, Sheldon. Jason talked about Austin really rising in the dressing room as a leader, taking people aside one-on-ones, having a real good pulse on the team. Can you comment on that, what you've seen from him as a leader, both on and off the ice?
Yeah, I think he's been a leader through his actions and his performance, really since he's been on the team and since he came into the league. I think that's just with his natural ability. That's what he has. He gets the attention of everybody and everybody follows him in that way. I think that as he's gotten older here, for sure, you've seen him stepping up vocally, whether it's talking to the team on the bench or talking in the dressing room, or as you say, just pulling guys aside and communicating with them, and whether it's encouragement or correction or just strategizing, he's taking a lot more initiative that way. And we've talked about that at different times about that evolution in his leadership as he's gotten older here. But certainly he's taken a lot of it himself, knowing that it's a big part of being a great player is to lead the way and make others better and set the standard and have a level of accountability that goes with the leadership, And I think he's done a tremendous job in that way. And I think it has been a natural step for him, and one that would have been coming for sure. But I think that he's been prepared for it and has done a good job of it. Excuse me.
Next up, we'll go to Terry Cochan, Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey, Sheldon. On the drive to the rink today, I was listening to the podcast you had yesterday with McCowan and Shannon, and toward the end, you were talking about the team's ability to play through physicality. Have you seen an improvement in that overall, or do you expect to see more of that type of play coming at you in the second half and when teams are gearing up for the playoffs?
Well, no question, I expect it to be coming at us more. Excuse me, as you're saying, that the second half of the season, playoff races are going to heat up. Teams are going to be hitting their stride in the second half for sure and gearing up for playoffs. So we expect that to come. And we've seen it. The other night in Long Island, we talked about it a little bit after the game. Just that was a very physical game. There are guys who are physical, come at you. They did that. Matt, that was a game I was really, really impressed with our group and how we're coming off the Ranger game and we knew how we wanted to respond. We're not always necessarily going to be the aggressors physically, but that to me is not really what it's about. It's, can you play through the physicality? Does the physicality stop you from being who you are and using the skills that you have, or do you play through it? And I thought, especially with our young defenseman, Sandy and Liljegren, and they were playing big minutes again for us in that Long Island game. And physically, they're being punished on the forecheck from the Long Island forecheck, and on our breakouts, just relaxed, made plays, knew that contact was coming, but it didn't take away from their ability to make a play and keep the puck moving and us progressing up the ice. Those are little examples that stood out to me. And then just throughout the season, I mean, you look at guys that we have on our team whose feet just don't stop. I mean, you get in Austin Matthews' way these days, and he's not stopping. He's driving right through you. He's going to keep his feet moving. He's going to push you off the puck. That's just a great sign. We talked about his leadership, and that's an area that he's really done that. And then I just look, throughout our lineup, whether it's returning guys or the guys you brought in. I mean, Bunty and Kase are two guys whose feet don't stop. People get in their way. They don't stop. They keep competing. So those are all really good signs for us. And that's the kind of competitiveness that we're looking for. And I think that's just really important, is that we can be ourselves and do the things that we do when things get hard.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll go to Dave McCarthy, NHL.com. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Sheldon, just if you could update the status of Timothy. He was out there. I guess he seems like he's okay, and Jake Muzzin as well.
Yeah, Liljegren looks like he's going to be okay. He got through practice well. He's reporting no signs of any symptoms. So as of right now, we have him scheduled to play tomorrow. But like with any injury such as this, you're going to just monitor it over time. So we'll see how he is, before game time tomorrow. And Muzzin has continued to progress. Obviously, he's out there again today, going through a good portion of our practice, but both he and the medical team are just not comfortable with where he's at right now to put him into games. So he will not make the trip to Detroit.
Next up, we'll go to Mark Masters, TSN. Go ahead, Mark.
Sheldon, who gets the start tomorrow night, and what went into the decision for that game?
Mrazek will get the start tomorrow, and really all that's gone into it is just like we've talked about, similar to him playing in the Long Island game. We're going to need Peter a lot here coming up, and the New Jersey back-to-back that's coming early next week. That in itself, we know we need Peter. So we just thought getting in this game better prepares him for that versus having an even longer stretch between games. We think trying to get him a little bit of rhythm is important. Jack obviously goes right back on Monday, and it's not too big a gap for him that way. So we just like the way that it sets up for Peter.
Just the one game, but what was your sense of the Nylander-Kampf connection? What did you sense from that duo in their first game together?
I thought they're okay. I mean, they had one really good sequence in the second period, and really great scoring chance for Kampf out front. That really stood out to me. I think they only ended up playing about 7.5 minutes, I think, of even strength time together as a group, with power plays and the way we move things around. So I don't think we can take a whole lot out of it. We're going to give it more time, but in doing all of this, with moving the lines around the way that I did, it was with the intention of the fact that, that line wasn't always going to be intact. We're going to be moving some people around. We're going to be on the road here in Detroit, so we might do a little bit less of that, without being able to control the matchups with last change and whatnot. But when we can, we may look to do that. But I thought that line, did a good job. I'm obviously Kerfoot and Nylander. I really trust their chemistry and how they play off one another. So that doesn't concern me much at all. But Kampf being with them, and he has played with Kerfoot, but not Nylander. So that's going to take a little bit there, but I think Kampfer is an easy guy to play with, just in the way that you can trust and rely that defensively he's going to do a good job of helping you get out of your end and get you on offense. So we're going to continue to look at it, but the early signs I thought were encouraging. And anytime you change lines, you tend to focus on one or two things, but there's a lot of things happening, and there's a lot of dynamics in how the lines are set up. So it's more than just focusing on that line. It's how the other lines worked, and I thought with the Matthews and Tavares lines, the way they were set up, I thought both those groups did a really good job.
We'll take two more here. We'll go to Luke Fox, Sportsnet. Go ahead, Luke.
Hi, Sheldon. Just wanted to follow up on what you were talking about, Austin's leadership. Is there a game or a situation so far this season that sticks out where he really rose up that way, or a player that you've noticed that him giving some guidance to?
Not necessarily. Not one particular play or game that stands out. I just think in general, you just hear a lot more chatter from him and his line mates. And you just see him on the ice before shifts, before faceoffs, grabbing guys and taking charge more at different times. Not a lot of the coaches' rooms are within earshot of the dressing room on the road and such, but and at home it's not. But there are times you can just hear his voice in there. So I could just hear more from him. I think he had been a very quiet player. Once he comes back to the bench in the past. And I think that we've seen him progress in that area, and he's just taking on that increased leadership role. I think he recognizes where he's at within our team and where he's at in the league and what he wants our team to accomplish, and he's taking charge with it.
We'll go to Michael Bradley with the NHL. Go ahead, Michael.
Sheldon, what was Austin's reaction when you talked about breaking up the lines? And is he the type of player where, because of his talent and his leadership now, this is not something that's going to phase him?
Yeah, he was good with it. He just shrugged it off as no big deal and whatever we need to do. Obviously, he's played with Kase before and had great success playing with him in the time that he has. So I think he really likes playing with him that way. And then obviously he and Bunting have been together a long time. So I explained to all the players my purpose behind it. It's an attempt to see what it looks like for us as a team and see if it has the potential to make us a better team in the process. One way or another, I feel like we'll come out of it being a better team. We'll either have something else that works for us, or we'll have the answers on something that maybe doesn't work. Each time I've come to Austin with something like that, and let him know what I'm thinking, he's been fully on board, and he just goes out and plays and competes no matter who he's playing with. And that's what he did the other night, and that's what I love to see.
Last one here, we'll go to Jonas Siegel with The Athletic. Go ahead, Jonas.
Hey, Sheldon, is there something about Kase's game that you think allows him to fit nicely around Austin and Michael?
His legs don't stop moving. He's on the puck. He pressures the puck. He puts the opponent in bad spots where they give the puck back to us. Defensively responsible. And then when the puck comes to him, he makes a play on it and he can finish. So just got a great skill set, I think, that allows him to be able to play anywhere in our lineup. And doesn't change his game. Looked at his shifts the other night, and a lot of little subtle things that he's doing on the ice that are leading to our team getting the puck back. And when our team gets the puck back, when he's on the ice with Austin Matthews, that's a really good thing. And we got lots of benefits from that the other night. The puck didn't go in for us at 5-on-5. We had some really good looks, a lot of time in the offensive zone, and Austin was touching the puck a lot. So those are the kind of things that I'm looking for to make sure that we're continuing to flow our offense and our guys are getting the touches that really need them. And that happened a lot the other night, and it has in each of the games that Kase has played with Austin. So I think that is another thing that Kase has done here in terms of opening up options for us because of his versatility.